Osmosis, a three-pointer, looking to continue a career day, and she knocks it down.
Gets the fast break layup and one.
From the studios of 95.7 The Spin.
Who lays it up and in through the contact of Baylor. What a finish from Emma DeHart. Wasn't even looking at the basket when she threw it up.
Back-to-back three-pointers off back-to-back possessions for the Screaming Eagles.
It's the Stein Show with USI women's basketball head coach Rick Stein.
Lays it up and in, Addie Blackwell, and one.
Welcome to episode 11 of the Stein Show, the coach's show with USI head women's basketball coach Rick Stein. Again, I'm the host, Nathaniel Barbie, bringing you another edition of the Stein Show. USI went undefeated over the Thanksgiving break weekend. They beat Rockhurst by 15 points, and then they beat William Jewell by 25. Emma DeHart was the leading scorer for both games, 20 points apiece. Really, that USI team is just outstanding. I'm going to talk to Coach Stein about how impressed he was with his team, the defense, the lack of turnovers. Everything just led to 2 Screaming Eagles wins. I'm going to talk to Coach Stein right away about this. Welcome, Coach Stein. It's been 11 weeks, and now we finally get to talk about basketball games that you've already gotten to watch your team play and then pregame for the future. And we get to talk about 2 wins, and that's the best part about it. We get to talk about USI women's basketball winning games, and it's just a great weekend already. You beat Rockhurst first off, 70-55. What were really the keys to winning that ball game?
Yeah, you know what? We talked last week about so many unknowns, and just because we hadn't played any preseason games, you hadn't played any pre-conference games, who's going to do this, who's going to do that, and what's going to happen with with any case scenario, and then all of a sudden you're lacing them up and it's game time and the ball goes up. I was really proud of how hard we competed. Thought we really got off to a good start with Rockhurst. Obviously held them to 12 points in that first quarter, and we had a big first quarter with 22, and I think so much of that was just fueled by our intensity defensively. We forced some turnovers from them early on, and I think that kind of got us going in the other direction pretty quickly. And again, a lot of times, especially with without having those game experiences under your belt, you kind of try to feel it out. And I don't think we were in feel out mode on Friday. I thought we really came out to show we were ready to play and played hard, played smart, and did some really good things in that first quarter to get ourselves off and running with the season.
Your team's defense was absolutely spectacular. Held Rockhurst to 26% from the field, 13% from behind the arc, and then forced 15 turnovers. Overall, how impressed were you with your defense?
Yeah, here's the thing. Obviously, we work on it all the time, but you don't know how it's going to look until you go up against somebody else. I've thought from the beginning this team has a chance to be a pretty darn good defensive team. I certainly don't think we're where we're going to be. We're at where we're going to be. But I think I was pleasantly surprised with how we defended at times. Obviously we only gave up 12 in that first quarter, but we ended up giving up 20 in the second quarter, and Rockhurst kind of came back at us. But again, I think that was a good learning experience for us. Knowing the intensity level and what intensity you have to keep to be really good defensively, every possession. And, we played 2 good teams this week that could really score. We talked about having to slow them down and stop them. We gave up 20 in that second quarter, but only gave up 23 in the whole second half. So, was I proud of our team coming out of halftime and pleased with how we defended? Absolutely. To hold them to 26% is huge. They only had 6 assists on the game and 15 turnovers. That means we're really making other teams uncomfortable. And those are words, that's a word you and I have used before. And I told you how we don't want to just be in the right place. We want to be in the right place, making the other team uncomfortable. And I thought Rockhurst was at a lot of the time during that game. They were on their heels a little bit. They were uncomfortable, and we were in control because of our defensive intensity.
Now, your defense was set up differently than what it was last year. Really set up in a zone on the defensive end, but was switched back to man throughout the game, but also the full court press. It really slowed teams down and really forced a lot of turnovers. Is this something we're going to see all year long?
Well, we're always built to keep teams off balance, and I if you look back to last year, I think we did mix and trying to mix up things and keep teams off balance. That's a definite, and I think every single defense that we try to run has some pressure involved in it. Ball pressure. We want to get after the player that has some basketball, whether we're in zone or in man. Some people play zone and they never get any ball pressure on. That's not how we play. Obviously, some full court stuff. I thought got us going a little bit too. We forced a Rockhurst into some. They had 15, but there were some that were just critical at critical times when it comes to turnovers that kind of fueled our fire and got us on that run and or maybe got us a back-to-back baskets or back-to-back baskets and that's what pressure can do. That turning somebody over and getting quick ones off of it. So. Again, I think when it comes to the defensive end for us, we certainly always want to keep teams uncomfortable. We want to keep pressure on the basketball, and I like to mix. I like to mix up and keep teams off balance. What they're going to see makes and misses or whatever it might be, and we changed throughout the game also. We didn't just do makes misses scenarios. So, some dead balls we came out and ran some different stuff, and so again the mindset to keep teams guessing and keep them on their heels. I think it's definitely we try to do defensively.
Now, looking at the offensive statistics for your team, shot 34% from the field. Is this a number you are, I guess, looking at in a positive way?
Yeah, again, I think it's what I say it all the time. I mean, sometimes that ball goes in and sometimes it doesn't. The one thing you can always do is defend and rebound. And we guarded really well. We got second shots. I think we have 15 offensive rebounds versus Rockhurst, and when you're shooting 34%, you got to go get some more, and we did. I thought we got to the free throw line well. I mean, obviously, one of the things that we talk about and preach and try to do is make more than our opponents even shoot, and we did that. And we've talked that, and I talked that a lot, and it's hard to do. And so that means we were really controlling the paint. We were aggressive to the basket. We were making them defend us, in that paint area. And those second shots really helped us. We drew fouls because we were hustling for offensive rebounds. And again, got to the free throw line a lot of times because of it. So really proud of our team there and their effort to, our effort to go back and get some more and not just rest on a shot and then run back on defense. I definitely think we put the pressure on them defensively because we were in that paint, getting things done, and then going back and getting some more for offensive rebounds.
A statistic that your team struggled with last year was rebounding, of course, but whenever you rebound 51 times against Rockhurst, you can easily win that battle. Really, what was the key to rebounding on last Friday?
So much of that's just a want, and you and I have talked here, over some of these past shows about the focus of it too, and the defensive rebounding drills, the offensive rebounding drills that we've been doing, and then the want. You just got to want to go get that ball, hit somebody on a block out, get a body on, and then go find the ball. And certainly I thought that was happening from a lot of different angles last night. It wasn't just our post players, quote unquote, our inside players. I think it came from a lot of different angles, and guards were getting in there, getting us some more shots. And again, to get to number 51, obviously, that tells you that the focus has been right, and it's paying off a little bit with some of those rebounding stats. I think we're plus 7 or 8 or something like that versus Rockhurst, and anytime heck, you play good defense and you top it off and get the ball, you go get second shots. Rebounding certainly does matter in W's.
And against Rockhurst, your team threw the ball away 17 times. How are you going to reduce the turnovers from here on out?
Yeah, I think some of those were just maybe a little unforced and just maybe we're rushing a little bit but you got to give Rockhurst credit. They're a good basketball team. They put pressure on us, and I knew they would. I knew they'd be in our face and trying to get after us a little bit. And again, 17 is a number that you can live with. if you're doing some of the other things well. If you're making sure that you're going to get second shots, you're making sure that you're dominating the paint and you're getting to that free throw line. If you're making sure that you're holding the other team to 55 points, then you can kind of live with it a little bit. But again, I think we're a team. Average in our league probably is about that number when it comes to turnovers. But I think we're a team that needs to be lower than. I think we should be 12 to 15. Any night out, and I think we'll do that. Obviously, I think if that number was lower, I'd think our 70 points would have turned into 75 or 80 points pretty quickly too. So always a work in progress. We were I thought we were really good at times offensively and not really good at times offensively, and showed up both ways. The good thing is it was enough to get to 70 and to hold them to 55 points on the defensive end. You get a good home W.
And a big part to scoring those 70 points was Emma DeHart put up a career-high 23 points against Rockhurst. Could you talk a little bit about her performance on Friday?
Yeah, obviously the first thing that would come to mind is, wow, she scored a lot of points, and I think that's obviously good to know. But you throw in those 6 rebounds, you throw in a steal, you throw in a block shot, you throw in the toughness defensively, you throw in her leadership. Some of those plays that a lot of times you end up with a number. Maybe, hey, so many points for a player, or so many deflections or rebounds. So much of what happens with them is in critical moments too. Man, we need a bucket here. Man, we need a stop here. Boy, we need this to happen now. And you even saw it yesterday. With William Jewell. I know we're talking about Rockers, but Emma took 2 charges for us yesterday. 2 charges taken by our team, and both were by Emma and a senior, a captain, and I thought the first one just really elevated our play. I think it inflated us, and I thought it deflated them a little bit. And again, Emma's a winner, and she's ready to do whatever it takes to help us win a game.
You went with a different lineup for both of the games this weekend. Can you talk a little about the reasoning with that?
Well, Nate, we haven't played a game this year, so I don't know what the different lineup is compared to. It's a new year. I mean, obviously we're a different basketball team this year. I wouldn't be surprised if we changed our lineup up, every week. I think we got a good group. I think we've got players that are competing for starting positions, and that's what we want. I don't think the good thing is I don't think our players get too caught up in it. We don't want them to. You got to be ready when your name's called. I think we have players on our team that could start for us that aren't going to. We can only start 5. I mean, there's only so many starting positions. What you hope you do is put out a group that can get you off to a good start, and then the ones that come in, you hope are going to take us to another level and be able to learn from what they saw from that starting bunch who was out there, and then, hey, okay, now I know I got to do this, or I got to change this, or maybe I can be a little bit better this way, than the person I just came in for to help us get stops or whatever it is. So, I don't think anybody gets too caught up in the starting lineup for us. Obviously, what we do as coaches is try to put a group out there that we think can get us off to a good start, and then obviously everybody's just got to be ready for your name to be called, and when it's called, get in there and do what you do best and play your role. But it's certainly, I think so much of that starts with the intensity level and the focus and being ready to defend and rebound the ball.
Now with William Jewell, you guys played them on Sunday, won 80-55, an impressive offensive number, but the number that everyone is looking at is giving up only 55 points again. What do you have to say about the defense for overall this whole weekend, only allowing 55 points per game?
Well, I truthfully, it's impressive. I mean, I was impressed with our defense. I think we're going to be better, but at this point in time, not knowing how we would defend and how we would come out, certainly, you and I have talked how many defensive, drills and things were and I guess the emphasis we're putting on it has been large because we do have a lot of new ones. Again, we have a young bunch, and we had 3 upperclassmen that were dressed this weekend. That was it, and only 2 of them were returners for us. So how does that carry over to either end of the court and play and how you defend and how you rebound? And until you get out there and see it, you really don't know, and until you're out there experiencing it, you really don't know. Jewel is coming off a really good road win at Indianapolis, and I think they went for 63 over there, got a good win. It's a team that scored 74 points a game last year, and it had every starter back, and certainly one of the better players in the league, and Kiara Bradley is as a player coming in going for 28 and 15 or whatever it was at Indianapolis. We knew they were a potent bunch, and knew that we were going to have to do some really good things defensively to slow them down. And I definitely think we did that. I think the first quarter was a little bit wavy for us and shaky, just because I don't think we found 21 enough. I think she was trailing in transition, and she was knocking down some open looks, and I think we let them in the paint a little bit. At the same time, we only gave up 17. It wasn't like we gave up 27. After that, I think we did a little bit better job of communicating and finding her, and then now obviously stopping them, and again, to hold a veteran club like that, a team that's used to scoring baskets to 55, I feel great. Really proud of our bunch, and certainly hope we can build off of it.
And how about the offensive end? They really performed well in the second half. What do you have to say about the offense at the end of the ball game against William Jewell?
Yeah, I thought our execution really got better. I thought we started to just kind of get a little bit deeper into our offense. We were more patient, and that second half, I think it was 40 to 25 is we outscored them, and I thought the second half we just really worked better together and worked off of each other better. I thought our screening was better. We used screens better, reversed the ball a little bit more. They mixed up. They tried to go zone a few times on us, and then we knocked down a couple of quick shots. I think Hannah hit one on the baseline, a little 15-foot jumper. We knocked down a three up top. I think it was Addie Blackwell knocked one down. All of a sudden, they were getting out of that and going back to man-to-man, just trying to find a way to slow us down. And I think it goes to execution. It goes to really digging into our offense and making them work defensively. Unselfish play, certainly. I think it went to us looking for extra pass, finding open players. And our turnovers went from 17 on Friday down to 9 on Sunday. And again, I think the more shots we get, we're certainly going to have more opportunities to make buckets. And our scoring went from 70 to 80, having 8 less turnovers. So I mean, if I could pen in 9 turnovers every night, I'd be penning it in right now, because that's unbelievable. That's hard to do, especially against the type of teams we're playing against, especially against a good veteran William Jewell team. So we certainly did take care of the ball a lot better against Jewell on Sunday.
And the turnover margin with William Jewell was just not even close. 22 turnovers for a veteran William Jewell team. Really, what do you have to say about the turnovers in that game with William Jewell?
Yeah, I thought we got them standing around a little bit in mixing defenses. I thought they kind of got on their heels a little bit, and we changed up. We went a little bit more man to man there in that second half too, and I thought that heated them up a little bit, and we got them standing around. So again, you try to keep teams uncomfortable, and a team like Jewell to force them into 22 turnovers. I think that really shows that our intensity level is really strong there, and we did keep them uncomfortable. We kept them off balance, and I think those turnovers certainly did help us to go the other direction and get some more things going offensively too.
Now, Emma DeHart had another 20-point game, but again, highlighting the 2 charges that you don't see on any of the statistical charts. What do you have to say about her heart throughout the whole weekend?
Well, it's not by accident. She's a 3-year voted captain for us, a senior and a leader that, and we've had her on the show and talked about her as a winner. And that's why that's her whole mindset and what it takes to win, and not afraid to do all the above to do it. A charge taken is one thing, but a couple charges taken, that fueled our fire for sure. And I guarantee you, these young ones, if they're not watching that, then they're not watching anything. Points or whatever. I mean, obviously she's making some buckets. That's good, but those intangibles that help you be a winner. our young ones are seeing that too, and our new ones are seeing that too, and they're saying, wow, this is how we win games. This is what we got to do. And if Emma's ready to step up and do that, then heck, we all will be. And I think we have 12 players that are willing to do whatever it takes to help us win a basketball game. And I think we saw that this weekend for sure.
Now, a player that I've had to highlight all weekend long is Ashley Hunter, a transfer. She came in and she really had a breakout weekend coming into USI, wearing the USI uniform for the first time. Could you talk a little bit about her playing style and the impact she had on the defensive end?
Well, Ashley's boy, she's a really talented scorer. She can really make baskets in different ways. She made a few plays. She had a reverse layup. I think it was against Rockhurst. That was one that you're not going to see many times from any players at this level this year. That pull-up jumper off the left hand, rising above a player yesterday, in the Jewel game. That's going to her offhand and rising up off a pull-up. Those are plays that are tough to make. The thing that pleased me the most about Ashley this weekend was her defense and her intensity defensively. We're teaching her something that on the defensive end that she really hasn't been taught. And in practices, she's really focusing and trying to get better at it. And I thought that it really showed up in our gameplay. I think she had against Rockhurst, it was I got a stat sheet over here somewhere. I think she ended up with 4 assists, 2 steals, and 2 block shots. And from a guard, and obviously, you talk points, but she ties for the lead on our team in assists with 4. She ends up with 2 steals, which I think was a lead, or tied for the lead on our team, and 2 block shots, which led our team, from the guard spot. So I think what you're going to see from her is a player that's going to consistently get better and better every single game out. And this really it's her 3rd program in 3 years. She went from junior college to Division I school to here. So she's learned 3 systems in 3 years. Not easy to do. I think it really showed, the talent level she has this weekend to be able to do it. But again, I know she can really defend for us, and she just got to focus on it. I thought this weekend defensively she was good, and she's going to just keep getting better at it and helping us in a lot of ways that way too.
And how about Addie Blackwell getting her first career start on Friday, and it started again on Sunday? What do you, how impressed are you with her about going into a new role as a starter?
Well, yeah, Addie played so many important minutes for us last year as a freshman, and we've talked about our freshman class last year and what it meant to us and our successes, and Addie made big plays last year. She's more than ready to step in and make more big plays for us this year, to run our show, to run the offense. And I definitely think that it's funny, or it's not funny, I guess. She had a finger injury earlier in the year this year, and it was a break in her pinky on her left hand. So she went about, and they put a brace on it. They did all they could do, and she went about 2 or 3 weeks of practice and couldn't dribble with her left hand. She was playing right-handed in practice. It shows how tough she is. I mean, it makes me smile, it makes me laugh, because she was playing one-handed for 2 to 3 weeks in practice and never complained once. Didn't use it as an excuse one time. She was still making plays and scoring and feeding to players on her team. It shows the heart she has, the toughness she has, and certainly ready to step into a I guess more of an expanded role this year as a leader, as a tough player, as a playmaker for us, and she definitely had a good weekend doing that too.
And how about Hannah Haycock is already averaging a double-double, had 2 double-doubles over the weekend in points and rebounds. Could you talk a little about her performance over the weekend?
Double-doubles are hard to get, man. That double-digit rebound thing is you don't accidentally fall into 10 rebounds. I mean, it's hard to get, and it certainly shows the focus she had in on blocking out and going to get rebounds and stuff like that. This weekend, anytime you get a player that can get a double-double of any sort, points, rebounds, assists, whatever it is. It certainly shows her impact, and Hannah had a heck of a weekend that way for sure.
And another transfer that you added to your roster this season, Sophia Rickers. She really showed improvement throughout the weekend, really on the defensive end. She stepped up offensively. She did as well. Could you talk a little bit about how you've been using her abilities to your advantage?
Yeah, again, we talked, Sophia, about her just a little bit, as our time has gone, in our shows here. A sophomore, so she's coming in with a year of experience under her belt, from junior college, which I think definitely helped her cause to be able to come in and help our basketball team and help us to compete. I think she's really a competitor, and she's kind of got a tenacity to go get the ball, and I think she showed that in some ways this weekend, and defensively, again, when you get a player from another program, you're teaching different things, and her mindset early on, defensively, just like I said with Ashley, we're trying to get them into how we defend, and it takes time, and I think what you're seeing is she's getting a little bit more comfort zone in how we like to defend and how we do it, and some of those plays on both ends of the court I think showed up this weekend.
And a starter last year that hasn't seen any playing time this year is Ashlyn Brown. She didn't play in the past couple games. Do you happen to know when she will be available for the season?
Well, as of right now, it looks like we should have her back with us this week and available for games. But obviously, you're talking about a player who started every game for us last year, and a junior for us. I told you we only have 4 upperclassmen, only 3 returning, and she's one of them. So to have her back on the bench with us on Sunday was good, and the opportunity with her leadership and to be able to really help us in those ways, I think that was good to see. And again, her back to practices this week, and then having her available for game time this week is huge. Obviously, another we're a young bunch. I keep saying it, but you're talking about another a veteran player, a player that understands play in our league and what it means to be ready to play. To play against GLVC opponents is huge, and certainly we'll be glad to have her back ready for play this week.
Even after winning 2 games, there are definitely things that you feel like your team could improve on. What are those different things that you think your team can definitely improve on coming in to this week's matchup with Illinois Springfield and Lewis?
Consistency with our intensity is going to be important. I could talk about both games put together. I thought with the Rockhurst game, we really were intense coming out. We had good focus, and we played. We made sure that Rockhurst was in a boat where they had to play up a level to what we thought we could play to. But then the second quarter, I don't think we were the same team. I thought we lost intensity a little bit, and then Rockhurst made us pay for it. With Jewel, I don't think we had the same start. I thought that their intensity level was matched us, and maybe they controlled a little bit of the tempo early. But then I think after that, when we hit the second quarter and then throughout the rest of the game, I thought, certainly thought that our defense really kicked in, and our intensity level, it didn't waver. It wasn't up and down. We don't want to play we don't want a roller coaster ride. We'd like to. It doesn't need to be too high, too low. Just got to keep it consistent, and that consistency of play, I think, will be important as we move forward. And every week there's new challenges. You're playing different teams. Obviously we got a Springfield team coming in here. They're 1-0. So another undefeated team. Lewis team coming in Saturday that is 1-1. I think Truman State got them, and Truman was picked to win that division over there. And Lewis has got a good club coming in too. So we're going to play 2 teams now with games under their belt. So again, consistency will matter, and that doesn't mean just defense. I think that's on both ends of the court. Keeping that intensity level for 40 minutes will certainly help our play.
And next up, as I mentioned, Illinois Springfield on Thursday, Lewis on Saturday. Going off of just last year, how do you expect Illinois Springfield and Lewis to play?
Well, new teams. It's hard to say. I gotta be honest with you. I haven't seen either of them play yet. Coach G's got Illinois Springfield, and I know she's already watched them some. She's on that right now. Coach Karp's got Lewis, and and I know she's doing the same thing. She's on them right now, and obviously after the weekend, trying to hit games, from yesterday and try to get scouts in hand and prepared. With Springfield, they had a new coach last year. Now she's in her second year, and I'm guessing that they are going to have much more of a comfort level. They're off to a good start, 1-0, and got to again, it's a conference win. So they beat somebody good. Style of play, it just remains to be seen yet. Obviously, like I said, I haven't seen any tape yet, but that'll be a lot of my day today and tomorrow for sure. And Lewis, a veteran coach with Sam, she's Lewis has been a perennial in our team, in our league, and they're a team that has been good every year for a lot of years, a couple handful of years, and I wouldn't expect anything different from them. A team that's used to winning, used to competing at a high level, and we will see quite a few new faces with that basketball team too. They had some seniors that were really good, but again, that's what teams do in our league. They just reload and keep going, and I know Lewis will do that too this year.
Now, Illinois Springfield only has 12 women on their roster. How will you use the lack of depth on the bench to your advantage?
Again, I haven't seen them play, so it's certainly hard to tell. How our depth matters, and one of the things I do know is this: I like our 12. I really do. I like our 12. I feel good about calling anybody's name. Obviously, we have some that are getting more minutes than others just based on their play, and that's just the way it works. But it's not that I don't feel good about calling some other names. But I think depth will definitely continue to come into play. They're all Thursday, Saturday scenarios now. There's no, hey, you get one game this week, kind of thing, except for maybe a bye week, which we have, next week. But for the most part, as we move into the rest of the season, even the first week of January, we'll have 3 games, and all 3 are on the road. So our depth needs to stay consistent, and it needs to get just a little bit deeper if we and that'll be all of our jobs to make sure that we can get deep into that bench as needed, and hopefully that will they'll keep carrying over to good play and more W's.
Now, there's a lot of history between USI and Lewis for women's basketball. All-time record for USI versus Lewis, 22-23. Could you talk a little bit about the history you've had with Lewis University for the women's basketball program?
Like I said, throughout the years, we've had some great games. It's been a really good rivalry. You're talking about 2 original teams in the Great Lakes Valley Conference, and goes way back. And over the last 22 years of my time, generally USI and Lewis are teams that are getting talked about and are competing for what it takes to win the league or win a conference tournament or go to the NCAAs, and that's been no different over the last handful of years since Sam's been there too as a coach. So I wouldn't expect anything different than an outstanding basketball game again. Once we get to Saturday, again, I think we're running into a really good Illinois Springfield team on Thursday. It's going to be great basketball again this weekend. We certainly have 2 really good teams coming in, teams that already have wins under their belt, and our goal is going to try to keep this home winning streak alive. And the only way to do it is take it one at a time, and that's what we're going to do.
And this is my final question for the episode. I'm kind of stepping away a little bit from basketball. I want to kind of capitalize on the players' warm-up jerseys and the shirts that your coaching staff was wearing for Friday's game and Sunday's game. Could you talk a little bit about what both of those warm-ups mean and why you wore them?
Well, that's a good question, Nate. Yeah, it's the Strength of 17 is an initiative from our athletics department, from our John Marcall, our AD, and our assistant ADs, all the way through all of our student athletes. Our SAC is really has been involved in it, and we have 17 teams at USI that compete NCAA, and it's about about awareness and it's about against racism, against social injustice, against it's so many things that obviously we're trying to just make sure that people know that as an department, as a team, that we're together against those things, and the league has obviously been involved in that too, and you saw their initiative when it came to our long sleeve shirts, our warm ups yesterday, and that had the conference's initiative on the back when it with the words there, but also on the shoulder was a patch that had come from the NCAA. I think through sport we're certainly using so many of our possibilities and our ways to shine the light on some of these things that are going on in our country right now, and our team is really our team has really wrapped their arms around it, and not only our team. I shouldn't just talk about our team because I think our whole department has, and all of our student athletes have, and proud to say that the shooting shirts that you wore yesterday, those we'll be wearing throughout the year. But the Strength to 17 shirts that we wore on Friday, every student athlete and coach at the university and administrator has that also in athletics, and that's going to be something that we're going to be doing things throughout the year. We have 17 things planned for the Strength to 17 teams throughout, and one of them was to certainly to just get those shirts on and wear them for one of our games, and it certainly made sense to opening day to put them on and put it out there that way too. So yeah, I appreciate the question on that. That's a good one, Nate.
All right. That was my final question. I want to thank you once again for taking time out of your day to do this. Look, congratulations on both wins. Technically still undefeated, going 2-0, and then Illinois Springfield on Thursday, Lewis on Saturday. Of course, I will be there for the radio station to call the game.
Absolutely, man. We'll see you on Thursday. Yeah, let's keep it rolling.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Sam.